guys, welcome back again to my channel. Today I have come with a new video. Today we will start a new topic. Our topic name is bearing capacity of soil. Most of you people may know that bearing capacity plays important role in designing of foundation of any building, because our foundation rests on a soil. So if soil does not have strength, then it may face failure. Failure may be in the form of settlement or in the form of shear. So the quality of soil also decide the width and thickness and type of your foundation. In today's video, we will discuss the types of foundations, then we will explore the methods through which we can calculate bearing capacity, and also we will discuss types of test. I have also mentioned the names of test through which we can calculate bearing capacity of a soil. There are some important precautionary measures which we have to take. I have also mentioned this in my today lecture. So let's start. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. You can see in the screen I have made one foundation. B is the width of foundation and DF on the left side. Let me highlight this DF. This DF is the depth of foundation. Okay. So below diagram of foundation I have also mentioned same thing. If depth of foundation is less than or equal to B, then we will call it shallow foundation. But if our depth of foundation is less than or equal to 15 times B, we will call it moderately deep foundation. But if our depth of foundation is greater than 15 times of B, it is called deep foundation. So we will start with shallow foundation. In shallow foundation, if we are doing conventional design of shallow foundation, we will discuss about the dimension of foundation and placement of foundation. Shallow foundation type. Number one type is strip foundation or continuous foundation. It is generally below load bearing wall or retaining wall. In this strip foundation, our length is much greater than width of foundation. I will draw here for you. Suppose this is a foundation, okay, and if we draw 3D, our wall will come on top like this. This is a plan. Okay, you can see this is a width B, okay, and this is a length. You can see here length is much greater than width of foundation. So this is a strip foundation. If our design requirement want very close column, then we use strip foundation instead of providing closely spaced column. Suppose I will draw a plan or a cross-sectional diagram. Let's draw a cross-sectional diagram. You can see I have drawn multiple columns. Multiple columns have same foundation. If this so if our desired requirement wants multiple columns, more than 3 or 4 columns, and their foundations are overlapping, then in this situation we will provide strip foundation. Let's go forward. Let's move forward. Second type is spread foundation or isolated foundation. Most of you maybe listen this spread or isolated foundation. Let me make a diagram for you. Let's suppose this is a column and this is a foundation. Okay, so this is a isolated footing. Okay, provide to support individual column. Shape may be circular, square or rectangle. It depends on our type of loading and our architectural design requirements. Combined footing. If footing of 2 or 3 columns overlap, then we will provide combined footing. Only 2 or 3 columns. Don't confuse it with strip footing. In strip footing, multiple columns mean 5 to 6, more than 3. But if our 3 columns foundations are overlapping, then we will provide combined footing for them. If column number exceed 3 columns, then we will replace combined footing with strip footing. Now, fourth type of foundation is raft foundation. If we need to provide 3 columns in 3 multiple rows, then we use raft column. I will draw a plan for you. This is a plan of foundation. Okay, and this is 1 column, this is 2, and this is 3, and again parallel row 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3. You can see we don't have more than 3 columns in a single row, but we have 3 rows and each row has 3 columns. In this case, we name that type of footing as a raft footing. Choice of particular foundation. So after learning the types of foundation, which factors affect or decide the choice of foundations? So there are 4 factors which decides the types of foundations. Number 1 is magnitude of loads. This load includes both dead and live load. Second point or second factor which affect the choice of particular foundation is nature of subsoil strata. If your subsoil strata is good enough to bear a load, higher quality, higher magnitude of load, then we will provide isolated footing. Okay, if our strata is enough stronger, but at the same time we have high quantity of load, like I have worked in my project that located in Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arab, my project was 45 G plus 45 building. In that project, designer gave raft footing. So in multi-story buildings, we usually use raft footing. Third factor which affect the choice of particular foundation is the nature of superstructure, and fourth one is specific requirements. The design of foundation generally required a knowledge of factors. The load that is coming to foundation. Number second is the requirement of local building code, the behavior of soil, the geological condition of soil. Two basic criteria for design of foundation. Number one is shear failure or bearing capacity criteria, and second one is settlement criteria. When load applied on foundation, there should be no failure of soil, neither extensive settlement. When you are following settlement criteria, you carefully focus on local codes, because some area local codes allow some allowable settlement and some local codes does not allow any allowable settlement. So you need to check the local codes for the settlement criteria of a design of foundation. Soil exploration. Before designing, you should know properties of soil. To understand properties, we perform soil explorations. The main objective of soil exploration will be determination of nature of deposit of soil, depth and thickness of soil strata, location of groundwater table, and obtaining soil rock samples. The third one is determination of engineering properties of solid and rock strata. Number fourth is determination of in situ properties by performing field test. Other option will be collect soil sample and conduct test in lab. Now we will discuss the types of test which we need to conduct on in situ soil. Number one is the boring. I will not go into the detail of these tests. For the detail, I will make a separate video. After making that video, I will put the link of that video in this video, so you can see that video if you want to check the details of these tests that we to conduct in situ soil testing. So number one is boring. Number second is standard penetration test. Number third is test pits. This test is used for shallow foundation. Fourth one is cone penetration test, dynamic cone penetration, static cone penetration. These are two types of cone penetration test. Pressure meter test, diameter test, vein shear test. This is for soft soil, very soft soil. And plate load test. This is a very important test. This test performed at site. This load test directly give bearing capacity and settlement value on the site. This test help to find subgrade modulus, which is major property of soil. In other option of testing, when we collect sample, the sample condition disturbed but representative sample can generally be sorry. In other options of testing, when we collect sample, the sample condition disturbed but representative sample can generally be used for grain size analysis, determination of liquid and plastic limit, specific gravity of soil, organic content determination, soil classification. Disturbed sample cannot use for strength determination. Undisturbed sample must be used consolidation test, hydraulic conducting test. hydraulic conducting test, shear strength test. There are three types of shear strength test: direct shear test, unconfined compression test, triaxial test. Shear failure or bearing capacity criteria. As we have discussed before that we will use two criteria to design a foundation. So here is the first criteria: shear failure or bearing capacity criteria. In the figure you are seeing one foundation. On the top it's a QC. This is a type of dead load which is coming from superstructure to the foundation, and WF is the weight of foundation, and DF is the depth of foundation, and above this foundation it's a soil. It also has a weight which we will represent with WS. So QG is equal to QC plus WF plus WS. Okay, if we add this we get gross load. When we divide this QG gross load with area of a foundation, then we will get gross pressure. So let's conclude what we have learned today. First, we discuss type of foundations. There are four types of foundations. Number one, stiff foundation. We usually call this stiff foundation as shallow foundation. Number second is isolated foundation. Number third is combined foundation. Number fourth is raft foundation. If our depth of foundation is less than or equal to width of foundation, then we call it shallow foundation. Okay, and then we discuss factors which affect the design of foundations. Number one factor is the type of strata, second is type of superstructure, okay, and so on. There are four steps. And then we discuss about the type of tests which we use to collect the sample of soil, and in the end we discuss gross loading, type of gross loading, and gross pressure. Today video lecture has finished. If you have any question, kindly write in the comment. Thank you.